The purpose of this tutorial is to give you an overview of a tool called PowToon, which is an awesome animated video and presentation tool, which would be an awesome alternative to a Google presentation or a PowerPoint or some of the more traditional presentation tools. If you're interested in using PowToon, go to the website, which is www.powtoon.com, and click on Sign Up for Free to create an account. You'll be asked to include your first name, last name, email address, and a password, and you'll be asked to select a category. Depending on if this is an account for you or your students, you may want to select the student or teacher option. Then you can register to sign up for an account. And once you're logged in, you'll be taken to a dashboard that looks like this. In the middle here, you'll find any PowToon presentations that you've created and saved so that you could go back and edit them later on. But to begin, we're going to press the blue Create button. And once you do, you will see several different templates that you can select from. If you would like to just scroll down and look at some of the different template options, you can do that. There's also a way to filter the results on the side here depending on what type of presentation you are looking for. If you do see a template that says premium across it, this means that it is not free and you need a paid for subscription account in order to access those templates. Just simply hover over any of the different templates to see a preview of what that template is like and what types of objects and text it includes. Otherwise, if you wanted to, you could just start from scratch and select a blank template here. Many of these different text and tools and backgrounds and objects are also available if you select blank. You'll just have to customize them on your own. So if you're interested in kind of starting fresh, you can select the blank template and select Edit, and it's going to open up in a new window for you. And this is what the PowToon Studio Editor looks like. Basically, it'll look at first very similar to your typical PowerPoint or Google presentation with your current slide that you're editing in the middle and all of the slides within your presentation listed along the left side panel. What is different about PowToon is within each slide, you can think of it as like a movie. And when you press play, it's going to play for a duration of time, depending on how much content you add and how much time you set the timeline to. So if you look at the bottom below this slide, there's actually a timeline that defaults to 10 seconds in length. If you wanted to, you can stick with this default duration. Otherwise, you can add additional seconds by clicking on the plus sign or decrease the seconds and make it a shorter length. And what you'll do is add content to this slide that will play out the way a movie would play out in the order that you select to occur along this timeline. So now that we've kind of established how PowToon is a little bit different from your traditional presentation tool, let's talk about how you can actually add some content to this. So to begin, we will look over here on the right where it says My Styles. And basically styles are different themes that you can choose from depending on your preferences and what your the presentation topic is. You may want to browse different styles and see kind of maybe what characters, background colors, object options you have to pick from, and pick from some of these different styles. And you can mix and match depending on your preferences as well. So you may notice that some of these styles have the word more across them. If you see more, this means that these are styles that are not free and come along with the paid for subscription. But there are plenty of free styles that you can pick from, however. So now I'm going to start with this style, and I'd like to add some backgrounds to my slides. So of all of these different tools and features within this particular style, at the bottom is where I will actually find backgrounds. And here's the background category. If I press more, it will expand the backgrounds option here and show me all the different backgrounds that I have available to choose from for this particular style. If I don't like any of these backgrounds, I could always scroll through other styles and see what other background options are available. But if I see one that I like, I can click on it, drag and drop it to this slide. And we can mix and match different backgrounds depending on the slide. So I may like that background for my first slide, but now if I go to my second slide, I may choose to have a different background altogether. So now that we've chosen a background, I am going to collapse the background window, and I'm thinking now is a good time to add some text to this slide. So I have a couple of different options for text. I could decide to include some stationary text that basically stays in the same spot throughout the entire duration of the slide. On the flip side, I could actually add some animated text that moves and change the timing for when that text appears and then exits the slide. So let's start with stationary text. Up at the top, I can click on this Add Text button and a text box will appear. It has a default type of font, size, and color, but I can just double click on this, retype my title, and if I wanted to, up at the top here, I could select a different font altogether. And I can select a different color font. And now you can see down at the bottom of my timeline that one text box has been added to this slide, and it is going to occur for the entire duration of the slide. So it starts at the 0-second mark and ends at the 10-second mark. If I didn't actually want this text to appear throughout the entire duration of the slide, I can just simply drag and change the starting point and ending point. And then if I was to actually press the play button for this slide, you would see when the text starts to appear. And then by the end of this 10-second duration, you should see that the text has disappeared since I cut it off a little bit early. So at this point, I'm going to add some more text, but this time I'd actually like to add some animated text. So to do that, instead of going to add text here at the top, I'm actually going to look over under My Styles and click on the More drop-down menu for text effects. And there aren't too many in this style. There may be more in some other styles, but there's still some great ones to choose from here. There's word by word, and if you hover over any of these, they'll give you a little preview of what they are. I think that the handwriting option is pretty cool. So if I would like to add this text effect to my slide, I can click on it, drag, and drop it. And I can begin typing. Press apply, and it's going to appear here on my slide. And now I can see here at the bottom, if I select the handwriting object that I just added, it's supposed to start about a 1.5 seconds into the slide, but I'm going to move this. I don't really want it to start until the 4-second mark, and maybe I'll have it end at about 9 seconds here. So at this point, I would like to see how this entire slide looks. So I'm going to press play. And at the 4-second mark, my handwriting animated text should appear. And that looks good to me. So now I've added some different text options here to this particular slide. I'll move on to some different objects. So I have a lot of different options here. If you wanted to use an image holder, there's different framing options within this particular style. There's also some different objects related to this category. So this is the infographic category. So these are a lot of images that are commonly found within infographics. So maybe I would like to add a shape of some kind. I'll choose this little info arrow here. And I'm thinking that what I want to happen is I'd like this little info arrow here to appear, and it will kind of point out the text before the handwriting text appears. So I'd like this to actually start at the beginning of the slide and kind of fade in, I'm thinking, and stay there for basically the duration of the text. So what I can actually do here is click on these little arrows here surrounding this object, and I can choose to change the effect of it. So I want it to actually fade in. I think that might look kind of nice. Fade in and fade out. So let's see how this looks now. Awesome. So if I like the way that looks, I can keep it as is and continue adding more content to this slide. If I don't like it, I can simply select any of these objects or text boxes that I've added so far and modify maybe where they begin within the timeline. And if I don't like something, I can actually click on it and press backspace to delete it altogether. So at this point, I can actually add some images to my slide as well. And one way I can do that is to go up at the top where it says image, and there is an option to go to a media search, kind of like a Google search, but it actually searches Flickr, and you can pull up some images that have already been opened up for Creative Commons, and you can utilize them in your presentation. They're open copyright. So that's one option. You can also go to My Library and press upload. Depending on if you are using this on a Chromebook or if you're actually using this on a regular Windows machine, if you go to upload and you're on a regular Windows machine, it will just take you to your physical storage on your device. But this upload button, if you're using a Chromebook, could actually allow your students to access photos that they've saved to their Google Drives. So you can do that and then insert an image that you like. And that's how my slide looks. So I'm thinking this looks good to me, and I can decide maybe what kind of transition I'd like between these slides at this point. So what you can do is within this My Styles section off to the side here, there is at the very bottom a transition section. So I'm going to expand the transition section and just look over the preview of some of the different transitions. So this one looks like a squeegee wiping. There's kind of a paint roller, and see which of these different animated transition options I like the best. So I'm thinking this one looks the best. I am going to drag and drop it. And now you can see here between the first slide and the second slide that this hands transition is now inserted into my slide. So I'm going to see how my entire presentation looks all together at this point. And very cool. So now we've moved on to the next slide. And maybe at this point I have decided that I'd actually like to insert some music. What I could actually do is go up to, or actually go down to the bottom here, or go up to the top where it says sound. And there's a music note down here, and it will take you to the same thing. Basically, it's your sound manager. And within PowToon, there are several different music tracks that you or your students can look through, play, see if you like, and insert into your PowToon presentation. Some of them say upgrade next to it, but if it just says add, then it is open to you to use within the free account. You can also import a music track if you have one saved in your computer or in your Google Drive. Or what's really neat is you can use the voiceover option. So you can press this little record button here, and whether you're on a Windows machine or a Chromebook, it's going to ask you to allow the microphone to connect. And you can begin speaking. There also may be a pop-up at the top asking you to allow the voiceover microphone to connect up here. Press stop when you're done. Give it a moment to render the track, and you can listen to it to see if it sounds how you'd like it to sound. And if you do not like how it sounds, you could actually press this little trash button and you could start over. If you like one of the sound clips you've selected, you can press apply and it will be added to your PowToon. So at this point, if I've added all of the content to my slide, ordered it the way I like, added sound or audio clips, I'm going to press this save button here at the top, just ensuring that I don't lose any of my progress here. And I'll go to share. And at this point, I am going to actually skip these options. It's telling you if you want to, you can make your PowToon private if you have a paid-for subscription, or you can upload it straight to YouTube or some of these other hosting options here. But I'm just going to go on to the next screen, select the standard resolution since it's free, select a category for my video. So I'm going to call this school or education. And I'm going to name it something. And press publish. So now this presentation is published and it can be played the way a video would be played. It's animated, it moves, it may include some sound, some music clips. And from here I can share it with whoever I'd like to see it. So I could actually click on email here and it should pop up an email window. This would actually take students to a Gmail window where they would compose a message and they can send it to you as the teacher or share it with other students, and it can be viewed by others. So hopefully you were able to learn a little bit about PowToon today and how it could be used as a great presentation alternative to something like a Google presentation or a PowerPoint.